Hello and welcome to the TIB podcast. Today I will be talking to an old friend from my school days. His name is Sankalp. He is an engineer turned marketer and he's currently working with the leading bank of India. Along with this, he's also a fitness enthusiast who has been through a massive physical transformation, which surely has taught him a lot about health and fitness. We will be talking about his journey, his learnings, and some common myths surrounding food and nutrition. Hey Sankalp, great to have you on the podcast. So, in the last few years, post college, we both have increasingly become interested in health and fitness. And Sankalp is now my go to guy for every time I try to question something in this domain. So, let's start from the beginning. Tell us about your journey and how it all started.
To be very honest with you, Somnanth, it all started with a stupid bet. I was always a fat kid. I was always a chubby guy.
Hmm.
So I, and because of my lifestyle and all that drinking and all in the BTech engineering college, it all added to my fat. So I was around 134 kgs, and my friends were like, hey, uh, anything can happen, but you can never lose weight. And we some one thing led to another, and there was a stupid bet that they'll sponsor all the drinks of mine, and this was my
Yeah.
farewell of my college, and the bet was I had to lose weight till my convocation. There
Which
was a
was
span of
how far?
so the farewell was around in November end or starting of December, and the convocation was supposed to happen in September. So it was around 10 months,
10
10
months.
11 months. So
Fine.
over that span of 10, 11 months, I lost around 40, 50 kgs.
That's a lot.
And yeah, I didn't realize at that time. So I was trying everything. I tried a lot of things. I've tried classic old school bodybuilding diets. I've tried intermittent fasting. I've tried a lot of things. But yeah, when you start seeing changes and when people start complimenting you, it just gets on with you. So yeah, this was the story which I initially how I got into it, and then gradually I started enjoying the process of it. But I know that you've been very sweet of saying that I'm the go-to guy, but it's vice versa for me as well. So whenever I have doubts about fitness, food, nutrition, I always come up to you that क्योंकि if I'm not able to know anything, I know that you read a lot about this. You implement a lot of these lifestyle changes
I
in
try to.
your yeah. So yeah. So you tell me how it all started for you. You will always a athletic guy,
Yeah, I was
but yeah,
always
you get the
interested.
point.
So, for me, to some degree, it was always there. But I just do not feel very good when I'm physically inactive for more than a few days. So, but one major turning point happened when I went into college, and after the end of the first semester, I realized that. So what happened was in the first 6 months, as normal college goers do, we do not eat very healthy. In fact, we do not eat
Right.
healthy at all. All we eat is junk food and things like those. So after the first 6 months ended, what I realized was I started having problems like I felt very unhealthy. I felt bloated and acidic all the time. So I realized if I'm like that at an age of 20 years old, so the problem will get worse eventually. So I started reading and learning about it, and also started implementing some of it in my life. So that is the main thing where it came from. So you mentioned intermittent fasting. Tell us about the diet and your eating philosophy, or generally what do you eat?
So as I mentioned earlier, that I tried a lot of things because when you start and being and someone who was obese and trying to lose weight, you ought to try anything and everything. Like if somebody tells you can lose weight by this, people will go and follow it. But eventually, when I started to learn more about diets, eating patterns, so I got to know that there's a very big difference between IF. It is not a diet as first, but
Mhm.
it is an eating pattern. And the biggest turning point for me was when I was in hostel. And so initially, when I lost weight, I had a lot of time, relatively speaking, and most of the things were accessible to me at all
Mhm.
the points of at all point of time. So I was
Okay.
living at my hometown. I was out of job. I was preparing for some exams, and I was so
Fine.
apart from studying, I was doing nothing. So I had all the time in the world of working out, preparing meals, going to the market, buying your own meals and everything. But once I went for my masters and I again started living at a hostel, I had to change something, or I was at the risk of gaining all the weight which I
That you
lost
lost.
back. And
Hmm.
at that point of time, intermittent fasting helped me a lot at that
Okay.
point of time. So it is an eating pattern where you fast for a given period of time, and then there is an eating window. But
Okay.
having said that, you still have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. But so it's not even only about losing weight. There are other benefits, or uh, there are other benefits which I felt during that tenure. Was first, being a student, I had a lot of time with me.
Hmm.
I had no. So I used to follow a classic 16-8 intermittent fasting, which means that you'll fast for 16 hours
16 hours.
and you have a eating window of 8 hours. So I had much more time to wake up late for the class and get ready and go, because there was no pressure of going and
Having
having
breakfast.
breakfast in the
Okay.
mess.
So you
So
skipped
I used
breakfast.
to
You
skip,
had.
yeah, I used to skip my breakfast. So my lunch was around 1:15.
Okay.
I so my first meal used to be around 1 or 1:15, and my last meal would be around 8:30 in the mess.
Okay. So your
So
eating window was
my
1 to 8 approximately. 1 to 9
yeah,
again.
1 to 8, 1 to 8:30. So it was almost 7.5, 7 hours. But the biggest point was I had a lot of time, and eventually when you get into the habit of intermittent fasting, once your body is used to that fasting period,
Hmm.
you see a lot of good benefits like no bloating, your
Hmm.
gut health improves, and your metabolism changes. You
Okay.
lose a lot of weight, and so if you're fasting, eventually the only thing left with you is water. So indirectly your water intake and a lot of things change and improve.
Okay. So it
So
was
yeah,
a.
so
Hmm. This was really
so this
helpful in your journey.
right. But I know for a fact that you yourself have been following a lot of different eating patterns, and
Hmm.
intermittent fasting also you've tried a lot of them. So tell me something about what you felt and what all have you tried when it
So
comes to fasting.
So I keep experimenting about with all these diets. So I'm just trying to find something that works better for me than everything else. So currently I'm following a type of intermittent fasting called circadian intermittent fasting. And this, what we do is we try to align our body's clock with the sun. So when the sun goes up,
Right.
you can eat in that particular time window, and when the sun goes down, you stop eating after that. So you try to align your body's clock to the sun. So that is the philosophy. So the eating window is from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. So that's a healthy, that's a fairly easy 12 hours of eating window. So
Right.
yeah, but there's this restriction that you do not eat after that. So I try to follow that, but definitely in some social settings it is not possible. But then yeah, it has worked out pretty well for me as of now. So yeah, I'm trying to follow this currently. So let me ask you this: what are your personal goals in this domain? Is it to look muscular? Is it to look feel strong? Is it to or is it something else altogether? So in a nutshell, what drives you in this fitness journey?
So to be very honest with you, Thomas, the initial motive was to look good only. So yeah, being a fat kid ever since, the only goal or the only objective was to lose weight and get fit. But eventually it's been around 4 years of working out, and I've tried a lot of different workouts. I've tried most of the things. See, this fitness and something, this is something which is never ending. You'll always
Hmm.
be learning something or the other. But yeah, in this span of 4 years, I've tried a lot of things. And initially it was all about good fitted clothes, all aesthetics and everything. But after a point of time, I realized that for me now it's not even about the aesthetics anymore. So one good workout session is similar like a meditation session to me. I feel one with myself, and working out has changed me as a person a lot. I've become much more calmer. I've become much more disciplined. And if you try and implement all these things, uh, which a workout or a change in your body tells you, I've started believing in the process. So this fitness journey and working out regularly has changed me as a person as well.
So there are a lot of other things that also improve when you constantly
Right,
work on your body and
you're having a bad day, you can vent it out. You're
hmm.
having a good day, you can enjoy the gym. So yeah.
You mentioned something about this being a long-term process. So even I have realized this in the recent past that this is a journey rather than a small distance or a small short term. It's a marathon rather than a sprint. And uh, I think I read this somewhere on Twitter that there are two things that will affect your life no matter how uninterested you are in them. The first is health, and the second is money. So people say that uh, so it is always better to control them when you can instead of being controlled by them. So this makes a lot of sense. Anyways, what are your suggestions for someone who's trying to start on a similar journey of losing weight?
So I am no expert here in different body types, and but through my journey, the biggest learning which I have had, or if I have to start all over again, would be that it is not that difficult as it seems. Don't overdo it, and try and make sustainable changes.
Hmm.
And so I'll try to explain it in a different way, that people always try and confuse aesthetics with fitness.
Okay.
So, so a fit person may necessarily not have abs, right?
Hmm.
So the basic, and there are stages, or there are different levels of fitness, or your body can achieve anything. So if somebody out there trying to start out, do not think about the aesthetics. Think about how you're performing in the gym, or whatever workout you're doing. How is it affecting your performance? How is it affecting your all over health? So my biggest piece of advice or learning would be, do not mix aesthetics with fitness,
Got it.
and trust in the process.
Hmm. I
It will
think
take time.
it'll take time. It's a game of patience also. You have to be
Patience,
patient for the
dedication,
results to
right?
show up because it is a long process. It takes years sometimes, years on end.
Yeah. So, and keep learning and keep educating yourself. So that is the most important thing. You try and learn about different body types, different eating patterns, different foods, different type of nutrition, and different type of exercises and workouts as well.
Hmm.
An old school gym is not the only place to be fit, and whatever you
Hmm.
feel like, if you feel like going for a run, if you feel like going for a yoga, aerobics, whatever,
Hmm.
you just
It
start
is,
educating yourself.
yes. There's a lot of experimentation in this process. That is right. So you mentioned
Right.
educating yourself. So what were your sources? Where did you get all this information? What were your sources?
So the good or the bad thing about our generation is the internet. So
Hmm.
one major source was internet, and also I was blessed enough to have a very good friend who guided me along the process, and that friend of mine is like totally into working out, bodybuilding, and everything. So
Hmm.
initially, he was a good source of
So,
inspiration, and maintaining my enthusiasm as well. So yeah,
hmm.
but the internet helped a lot. Internet, reading about things,
Hmm.
following people who create content related to fitness, trying different things, and then learning out that these things are sustainable or not
Hmm. Experimenting for yourself on your body.
for
Sure.
yourself.
Okay. So here are some things which are common myths and which cause a lot of confusion in health and nutrition in general. So I also had some doubts about them. though I was able to conclude though I was able to conclude some of these, but let us see what is your take on these. So when it comes to sugar, like a lot of people recommend cutting out sugar entirely from your diet, but nobody says anything when it comes to fruit. So they're also sweet, they also contain sugar. So isn't that harmful?
So, see, Soumya, initially I also believed in this, but see, this is not something, I'm no expert here in this field, but this is
But
what
still, what
I
is
feel, and
your yeah?
this is what my opinion is, that when it comes to fruits, so there is a very big difference between refined processed sugar and a fructose source of sugar from these fruit.
From the fruit?
And when it comes to a healthy lifestyle and making healthier choices, which I believe in, I now I've come to the fact that whenever I have a craving for, let's say, a ice cream or anything for dessert, I'll have a fruit.
Mm, good
So
alternative.
for me, I totally avoid processed and refined sugar,
Okay, but fruits
but
are okay,
not natural sugars. Yeah.
not natural
So
sugar.
replacing sugar with jaggery powder or using
Hmm.
dates in most of my
To sweeten your food.
recipes.
Got it,
Yeah,
got it.
to sweeten my food. So yeah,
Okay,
I try
and
to avoid
mm,
processed
sugar,
sugar.
true. So, what is your take on white rice versus brown rice? So, a lot of people recommend having brown rice when you're working out or when you're doing anything. So,
Right, right.
what does it even make a difference having white or brown rice? What do you think?
See, I don't remember correctly the article which I went through, but I've read about brown rice and white rice specifically because there is this myth that if there is someone who's fat, the
Hmm,
first thing people say is chawal khana chhod de, and you'll be fine. And
you'll be fine.
then there comes brown rice, that you eat this and you'll be healthy. So
Hmm,
the basic difference which I got to know was that brown rice and white rice is the more processed version of brown rice,
brown rice.
right? It's more refined, it's more processed,
Hmm,
and so there are a few minerals which are extra when it comes to brown rice. Having said that, when you when you have white rice in a, let's say, in a typical Indian traditional way, with when you have a white rice along with a source of protein, let's say your dal, your lentils, your pulses,
hmm,
then you have a vegetable source, you have curd, and you have different type of nutrients. And along with that, if you have
hmm.
white rice, it's 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 almost the same thing.
Okay, if you're having it in a complete meal, then it doesn't
Complete
make
meal,
much difference.
much difference. So it's all
Got it.
about good marketing.
Got it. Got it. So, what do you think of taking protein powder? Is it safe or should you avoid it generally?
See, Soumya, as I said, as I mentioned earlier also, that it's it's all about your lifestyle and whatever suits you. So excess of anything is bad.
Hmm,
After, at the end of the day, whey protein is processed, but my whole point is that there will be people who will say that I don't take whey protein, I complete my macros, but there are a lot of practical problems in daily life. When I was living at my hostel, I had a limited budget. I I am a pure vegetarian now, so
hmm,
I had other things as well. So it was not practically possible for me to have all my proteins and all my macros through natural food sources only. So I
got it.
used to have whey protein. So I never overdo it. But saying that, if you have it in a limited quantity or in a controlled manner, it is not harmful for you. So
Okay.
I do follow this concept. If I'm having whey protein, let's say for 3 months at a stretch, I'll take a break of 2 3 weeks. I'll not
Okay.
have it.
How
Or
long?
if
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
how long have you been taking whey protein? Matlab, has it been years or did you start it right
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the
It's
beginning?
Yes, I started right from the beginning. It's been 3 4 years, more
Okay.
than 3 4 years of having constant whey protein in my life,
Okay.
someday
Got
or
it.
the other. But as I mentioned, that I try and control my intake. Also, when I'm not working out, or let's say I recently had a knee injury, so I was not doing anything. The only thing I could do was to lie around. but still I had to complete my macros. So at that time, I used to have half a scoop of whey protein or one scoop of a whey protein. Or there have been days that I've been working out properly. I need that kind of nutrition that I want to complete my protein intake and everything. I went up to 3 scoops also, but never more
So
than that. And I
adjusting
try
it
to
according to
control
your
it.
needs
Yeah,
was the key.
adjusting it, taking it in a controlled manner.
Hmm,
It is not bad for you.
got it. Okay. So okay. So you mentioned that d- you mentioned that you skipped breakfast when when you were starting with your IF. So generally Indian parents, they do not approve of skipping breakfast. So how did you deal with that?
I totally get it.
Uh,
So to be, I was lucky enough that I started it when I was at my hostel, so no one was there to
okay.
stop me. But yeah,
Okay.
so it's I what I feel is that it's not even their fault as well.
Hmm,
Be it your Indian parents or any parents, we as a society have been conditioned that way that you are supposed to have 3 meals in the day. First meal is your
breakfast
breakfast,
is
second meal is your lunch, and so you're conditioned that way. And once you get over that conditioning, I think it's normal. And for me specifically, when my parents saw the results and everything, they still don't believe in the concept of skipping it.
hmm,
But yeah, when it it took a lot of convincing and showing results.
showing results. Got it. So thank you very much, Sankalp, for being on the show. We really had a very informative and very good conversation. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Somansh. I tried to share my learnings. I'm no expert in this, but yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this conversation. Even I got to know a lot.